Get after for 6 to 8 seconds. Guys, this is what we had to get. This ain't the one we want. You want that ball?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Laurel Leader Call Sports Show. I'm your host, Jack Fairchilds, joined alongside, as always, Kevan Lindsey and Josh Guru Nichols. Guys, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but I'm sure before we get started, I know Guru is pretty happy this week from something that happened on the college level. Not necessarily the game itself, but the after effects of a bad loss for his beloved LSU Tigers. So, good. Before we get into the high school stuff, do you want to say a couple of nice things about your now former coach, Brian Kelly?
Good riddance. Somebody get the lane train rolling to Baton Rouge.
And Kevin over here, he's just upset because Auburn still has their head coach. So
we're just monkeying around over here, Jack.
Ooh. Well, we'll save that for another time, but I see what you did there. Let's get into these recaps.
No more monkey business.
No more monkey business.
We're going to go ape crap on y'all.
Look, for those of you, most of the folks watching this know that yesterday there was a wreck out in Jasper County off the interstate involving monkeys. Kevin was on the scene at that, and we will be talking with Kevin about that on an upcoming episode of the Right Side Radio Show. So check that out real soon. Getting into why folks tune into this particular show, and that's the football games. And we're going to start off recapping these games. First, Forest Hill at West Jones, 41-0 win for the Mustangs. Complete and total domination, Kevin. You and I were at this game, and it just, from start to finish, West Jones they were the better team. I think Forest Hill only crossed the 50-yard line once that entire game. It was a complete and total domination. Running clock after the first half. I mean, just like I said, I think, and talking with Coach Reynolds afterwards, it was really, he said it best when he said it was probably their first complete game of the entire season.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it to you. We were somewhere close to the end of the first half, and I said, I don't think Forest Hill has gained a yard. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was that type of play. I know West Jones fans, they were super excited probably to see that from their defense. That's been the complaints lately, is their defense was giving up a little bit too much. And, yeah, I agree with what you said and what echoing Coach Reynolds, probably their most complete game. Chandler Watson, Caleb Holmes, Tootie Lindsey, that trio of players, they are just piling it on every week.
You know, one thing that was really impressive in that game, too, was Holmes. He had a clear touchdown at one point, stopped because they wanted to try to get one of his fellow seniors to score. Guru, have you ever seen a kid be that selfless to give up padding his stat with a touchdown to try to hand it to a teammate like that?
No, but I think maybe somewhere along the lines in college it may have happened. I mean, but for a high school kid to have the wherewithal, I mean, that speaks volumes to me just about his upbringing, his coaching, and just himself just knowing what the right thing to do was. I mean, he could have easily waltzed into the end zone from what you guys said, and to do that, I mean, kudos to Caleb Holmes. That's an outstanding teammate.
Absolutely. Let's keep rolling here with another blowout game. 39-0 Laurel victorious over North Pike. All of a sudden, Laurel's looking really good after starting the season off 0-7. They've won their last two straight. They were playing a North Pike team that was coming off of its own first win of the season over the previously undefeated Sal Jones Braves. Laurel went to that same place, took care of business, and now they're sitting in second place in the region. Real quick, we'll start with you, Kevin. What do you make of this? Do we call it a turnaround at this point, or is it too early to say it's a turnaround for the Tornadoes?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a turnaround. I know we've talked about it all here. I've been very, very vocal that something had to give in Laurel, and I think that win last week, it just fueled, and we got to see them. I feel like probably Coach Ernest is probably thinking the same thing that Coach Reynolds thinks, that they played a complete game. Mm-hmm. I've told you both guys before that I don't think that Laurel's defense is like Northeast Jones level. Maybe not quite West Jones level, but I think they're a good defense. A healthy West Jones defense is a good defense, and I think they're right there. And they just had to figure it out on offense, and maybe it's handing off.
Shout out Desmond Hosey, 101 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. This week's leader called player of the week for Jones County. Maybe they're finding, like you said, their offense and the defense. I think forced 4 turnovers. They had a pick 6 in that game against North Pike. So I would agree that, I wouldn't call it a turnaround. It's just, that non-district schedule is just so brutal. And it's like Coach Ernest has told Jack on multiple occasions, you play those games to get ready for the district games. And so far, they're 2-1 in district. Their lone loss was just 13-7 against Old Brook, and Old Brook is sitting at 3-0. So I think this is a really dangerous Laurel team at this point.
I agree. Next, we've got Northeast Jones falling at Purvis, 28-21. The story of this game, after talking with Coach Milner, was turnovers. They were in this game throughout, and even after going down 14, they battled back, cut it to 7. It just wasn't meant to be for Northeast Jones this past weekend, and of course now, and we'll talk about it here in a second when we get to the previews. Now they're kind of in a tight spot, but it's got to be frustrating to continue to struggle when you go on the road. And that seems to be the story right now. Northeast Jones has got to figure out how to win on the road if they're going to maintain success.
Well, I think that that's part of it, but I think that you've got to find something on offense to open up things for your run game. They have talent in the run game. AJ Pugh was not a Dirty Dozen member by just sheer participation. We've seen Magruder out there. We've seen Dice, right? It's Dice. I want to make sure
Dice.
Getting kids confused. But we've seen those guys pop off for 100-yard games. But when people are able to stack the box, and whenever this offense turns the ball over, their backs against the wall is what I saw in the quote. Man, it is a shame that this defense, this elite defense, might not see the postseason. That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, and the good thing right now, though, we speak of the road woes that have continued for the Tigers throughout the season. They get the last 2 at home. That's going to be the telltale. Sitting at 1-2 in district play, you got 2 chances. You got to win. At minimum, I'm going to say, as of right now, you got to win 1, but more than likely you're going to have to win both, because you got Stone sitting at 3-0. You got Wayne County above you at 2-1, and I know Northeast and Wayne County will play next week, but yeah, we'll preview a really big one for the Tigers coming up here in a minute.
Absolutely. And of course, next we've got to get into South Jones falling at Old Brook 42-24. This is a game that they fell down, Guru. Correct me if I'm wrong, 16-0. 19-0. Battle back, cut it to 19-16. It's one of those old, and Guru, you were covering this game, so we're going to lean on you more to break down what you saw. But it's the old story of, if you get behind by too much, no matter how much talent you have, you put yourself in too big of a hole sometimes to ever fully dig out of, unless you're playing Mississippi State. Then you might be able to figure out a way to pull out of the hole. Guru, what was your takeaway?
Well, that is something Kevin and I were discussing a little bit earlier off air, and despite the fact that South Jones fell behind 19-0, they actually outscored Old Brook 24-23 the rest of the way, which shows that they're right there toe to toe. But that 19-0 start happened in pretty much fewer than 8 minutes of game time in the first quarter, and you're absolutely right. You dig a hole like that. I mean, it's tough to come and get out of. But give the Braves credit, they didn't fold up. I've seen many teams on the high school level, even some on the collegiate level, get down by 3 scores in the first quarter and they just pack it in. But South Jones didn't do that, and that's a shout out to Coach Harrington and his staff and all the kids on the team for continuing to fight, because, like you said, they got it back to within a 3-point game there in the first half, and Old Brook was able to punch one in before the half ended, and that kind of took the momentum back to the Panthers side after the Braves had climbed back in the game. And it was good to see Anquan Jackson get back out on the field for the first time in the last 3 games. He did his part. He had his usual solid performance, and hopefully that will help them in these last 2 games going forward as they try to get the highest seed possible that they can at this point.
Heck, at this point, make the playoffs, because that's a distinct possibility. And it sounds crazy to say after the 7-0 start that here we are sitting, and South Jones may be on the outside looking in. Kevin, is there anything you want to add about the Old Brook game, or do you want me to just go ahead and jump into the previews?
I would just go. I'll say this and jump into the previews. What you said, that there's a possibility that they could not make the playoffs. We're all sitting at this table. Did we think 2 weeks ago that South would ever be in this position?
No, we thought at worst it'd be like 8-1 right now.
Yeah.
Right. We were talking a month ago about them going undefeated.
Yep.
I mean, I know that Anquan was a big loss, but it just worries me that you go on the road to Old Brook. And I'm not taking anything away from Old Brook. Definitely don't want to do that. Man, it worries me. I mean,
it should.
I think they responded well coming back. And like you talked about it, we talked about off air, outscoring them the rest of the way out after the first quarter. But you let a Laurel or somebody jump on top of you, or even the Natchez that has a prolific offense.
Right.
It's hard to climb back out in these games.
It is. Now let's get into our first preview this weekend. Laurel travels to Summerall. That should be an interesting matchup. Laurel 2-6, Summerall 6-3 in this matchup. Laurel looks really good as of late, and this could be another one of the. And Summerall's a run first team. Kevin, you and I've covered a fair amount of Laurel games. We know that their defense is elite, but sometimes prolific runners can cause them a problem. I think if they can figure out a way to limit that rushing attack from Summerall, I think they could very much go in there and extend this winning streak to 3. What do you think about this matchup?
This is a sneaky game. Laurel's probably looking at the South Jones game 2 weeks from now. Mm-hmm. But, man, Summerall's hard-nosed.
They are.
I mean, even without Jackson, Summerall was giving South Jones everything they wanted. Yeah. They are not going to back down from anybody. And then this game at home, Laurel better be on the toes. They need a good performance out of their running backs. They need a good performance out of their defense, and just come away with one of those grind-out victories in this one.
Yeah, like you said, going to Summerall, that makes this one a even tougher matchup. And even, like you said, Anquan Jackson was out when Summerall played South, but South couldn't score a touchdown without him. Had to kick 2 field goals, and the only way they blanked Summerall was blocking one of their field goals. And like you said, Summerall's a tough-nosed team, and they're fighting for their playoff lives too. So, I mean, this is, put up or shut up time for every one of our 4 county schools at this point.
Natchez and at South Jones is the next matchup we're going to talk about. Natchez is 3-5. South Jones, of course, 7-2, but South's lost 2 straight. This is a gut check game. Now, fortunately for them, it's on the reservation. I think that's going to help. But as Kevin said, Natchez is no joke, and South Jones has to refine themselves. They have to refine that magic that they had for those first 7 games. I think being at home definitely will help. But this is another tie game, because if South loses this game, the playoffs become less likely. And I'm not just saying that on a whim. I think if they lose this game, yes, they'll still get to play Laurel and they still have a shot, but it becomes far less likely for them if they fall on this game. Josh, we'll start with you this time because you've been at every South Jones game. I think at the table you're by far the expert on the Braves because you've seen every game. What do you think? What do you think are the keys going into this game?
Well, number one, Jack, sitting back and looking, South Jones lost to North Pike 21-5. North Pike played Natchez the week before. Natchez beat North Pike 44-14. Don't really know, what all went down in that Natchez North Pike game. Just know what I saw between North Pike and South Jones. Granted, once again, Anquan Jackson wasn't on the field. But like you said, this is a must win because you lose this game and then you turn around next week and you have to beat Laurel, and then you're going to have to hope that certain other teams win and certain other teams lose just to maybe sneak in the number 4 spot in the region. So, yeah, I mean, this is a game where South Jones has to show up, play a full 4 quarters. The Bullet Club defense needs to come back after that rough performance last week against Old Brook, and it's cliche, but this is the biggest game that South Jones has played to this point in the season by far.
Kevin, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm not just going to echo his comments. He's exactly right. Guru is exactly right. This is a Natchez team, like I said, over the years that has a prolific offense that can surprise people, and they can put up 30, and it just happens. And where did this come from? And like I said, South, they can't overlook that. They cannot overlook that. They've got a strong defense. That Bullet Club defense has that name for a reason. But backs against the wall, it's getting pretty close.
Absolutely. And again, it'd be a crying shame to start off the way that they did and then be sitting at home when the playoffs start. Next, we've got Stone at Northeast Jones. Stone is leading their region. They're undefeated in the region. Northeast Jones is in must-win situation. They have to win this game. It's in the jungle. That definitely doesn't hurt, but they are playing the team that is leading their region, and that's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Stone is a very, very good team. It's going to be tough, but I do think Northeast Jones has a solid defense. If they can figure out some of the things on offense, like you were talking about, Kevin, they could definitely be in this game on Friday night. Kevin, what's your keys to this game?
Just not turning the ball over offensively. I mean, I hate to oversimplify it, but it's the truth. If you can get to the magic number of 20.
It's funny, I was thinking 21, but we'll go with 20.
Yeah.
And not turn the ball over.
Yep.
Right.
Same could apply to South. Don't turn the ball over.
Yeah. Get to 20. Don't turn the ball over. Give your defense just a little bit of time to rest. You're good.
Yeah, I agreed. I was, we're right there at the 20 mark, and just at least extending drives on offense. You can end up punting after you get 1 or 2 first downs, but this is one thing, and we're far from coaches. We have never claimed to be. I mean, we're just opinionated sports guys. But one thing Kevin and I talked about yesterday that we would like to see with Northeast is Magruder and Pugh and Dice maybe lined up in the backfield with Pugh taking a snap from the pistol or shotgun with Dice on one side, Magruder on the other, just as a kind of like a wild tiger type offense. Maybe not for the whole game, but just from different spots here and there, and maybe we'll see that from Northeast Jones. I mean, they need to do something offensively to shake things up, protect the ball, but also move the ball, give that defense some time to rest, because when the defense is fresh and out on the field, they make it hard for any opponent to score points. If you don't know, go ask West Jones, go ask South Jones, because they had heck of even though they lost, they had very solid performances against both of those teams.
Next, we've got 7-2 West Jones at 6-2 Hattiesburg. This is it. This is
for the whole Magellan and Region 3 6A.
Yeah. Our friends at Super Talk, that's their game of the week. That's the Leader Call game of the week this week as well. I really like what I've seen out of West Jones the last couple of weeks. I mean, that offense seems to be clicking. The defense, I know Forest Hill may not be the strongest team, but anytime you can walk away from against any opponent with a shutout, that's something to hang your hat on, and I think that's something that they can maybe build momentum on. But Hattiesburg has proven this year that they're no slouch. You got to go to their home. That makes it that much tougher. Kevin, I'll start with you. What do you think are the keys in this matchup for West Jones?
Big rivalry game here. You look at it, and I'm dead serious. This has turned into a pretty big rivalry game. Like I know I've joked about it every game with Hattiesburg, but no, this one really has. It's turned into a rivalry game, and I think that my question to Hattiesburg is, how are you going to stop that trio of Tootie, and Chandler Watson and Caleb? How are you going to stop them? And maybe you stop one of them. But I watched Chandler Watson burn a DB probably 8 or 9 times at least. And if it hadn't have been for maybe an overthrow or the DB straight up trying to trip Chandler, Chandler probably has 300 yards in that game. And that is no joke. Yeah. We saw a catch or a drop by Chandler. It was just out of his reach. And then in the second quarter against Forest Hill, DB straight up had to tackle him to keep him from getting the ball. So you might be able to stop one of them, but can you stop all 3 of them?
That's fair.
And, both teams are 3-0 in that region. So whoever wins this game will win the region regardless of what happens the following week. Because if they both end up 4-1, the winner of this game will have the tiebreaker, so it won't matter. And with that said, you said everything you did about West Jones, but Hattiesburg has a heck of an offense too. And they're very balanced, just like West Jones. I would not be the least bit surprised to see both of these teams in the 40s and a one-score game. I mean, just looking at the 4 games that we have this week, if you could pick one that we were able to go to with all the other things we have to do outside of covering football, this would absolutely be the game all 3 of us would pick to go to, because it's for the region. You got 2 very good football teams, 2 teams that likely will. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these 2 teams was not the South State champion, or even having to see them playing later on in the playoffs in a rematch.
Yep. It's going to be a war, folks, and you can listen to it on Super Talk. We'll be relying on them to update us as well on how things are going in that particular game. Kevin, did you decide if you're going to that game, or are you sticking around and bouncing between the 2 this week?
I think I'm going to be a floater this week.
There you go, Kevin the Floater. Moving on, folks, into our college picks time. This is the fun segment. Our first game this week that we're going to pick is the world's largest cocktail party.
Outdoor cocktail
World's largest outdoor cocktail party. And we still call it that, the same way that we still call Oklahoma, Texas, the Red River Shootout. We are not going to be politically correct on this show because we respect tradition. This game between Georgia and Florida, pretty easy. It's going to be Georgia. I think it's going to be Georgia big. Kevin?
Yeah, I don't even know who the interim head coach is for Florida. I'll be honest. I really don't know. I'm going to take Georgia, but I don't think it's going to be big, Jack. I don't. I think it's going to be closer than what Georgia wants. I've been saying I don't think Georgia is the same Georgia team they've been.
I don't think they are either. I don't believe in Florida.
Yeah, I understand that. I just think that a rivalry game, it might widen late, but I think that it's going to be closer than what we want. But I'm picking Georgia.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia, they're just so week to week. And not skipping ahead to anything. I don't even think they're playing this week. But, they're kind of like Alabama. We've watched Alabama. They beat Georgia earlier in the year. But then, they struggled last week, had to win at the very end against a subpar South Carolina team. And Georgia has had moments where they look very vulnerable. But, it's hard to put any faith in Florida. It doesn't matter if they have an interim head coach, it doesn't matter who. There's a couple of people, maybe Saban or the return of Urban Meyer might change our opinion on Florida. But I think I do think this is one of those games that has significant potential for a shocking upset. But from what I've seen in Florida and their game against LSU and their miracle win because of Blake Shapen at Mississippi State, I can't put any faith in them. And I'm not going to say like Jack that it's just going to be a blowout. I think I kind of lean more towards Kevin. I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia has to score late to win the game, or they could pull away in the fourth quarter, but either way, it's going to be the Dogs.
Next, we've got Oklahoma traveling to Tennessee. Oklahoma coming off of that loss last week against Ole Miss. They were the home team there. They're traveling on the road to face the Vols. An inconsistent Tennessee. Is it fair to say an inconsistent
Yes.
Tennessee team? But I still think at home, Tennessee takes care of business against the Sooners. If it were in Oklahoma, maybe I'd think differently, but I think coming off of last week's loss, that coupled with their loss in the Red River Shootout, I think Oklahoma's been exposed. I think the Vols take care of business.
Real quick, I had some breaking news for everybody. One candidate could be out for the LSU job.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, James Franklin is nearing a contract with Virginia Tech.
Wow.
That could be a fun fit.
They are negotiating a contract, according to Twitter, or X, I should say.
Good. I didn't want him anyway.
Well, I'm just saying that's one of the things. But anyway, back to Oklahoma, Tennessee. I kind of feel the way about you do with Georgia, with Oklahoma. Like if Oklahoma's firing on all cylinders, like they're top 5 team in the country. But yet, it's kind of the same way with Tennessee. This one was one of those games I went back and forth on. I'm taking Tennessee because it's at home. But, I could see Oklahoma upsetting Alabama in like 2 weeks or whenever, But I'm going to take Tennessee and this one being at home.
Yeah, you got Josh Heupel at Tennessee who led the Sooners to a national championship way back in 1999. He's done a good job at Tennessee. This just for me comes down to what I watched with Oklahoma last week when they squandered that late lead against Ole Miss at home in Norman. And meanwhile, Tennessee just waxes an overmatched Kentucky team. And Tennessee just took care of Kentucky like a business trip. Oklahoma, after this weekend, will be out of the playoff picture because I got the Vols all night on Rocky Top.
Next, and this is a very intriguing matchup for sure. Vanderbilt, especially after last week, they had game day there. They upset, or can you even call it an upset at this point? They beat Missouri. I don't know if you can call it an upset. This week, they're traveling to the Miracle team in Texas after Texas miraculously somehow figured out a way to come back against Mississippi. That was 38-14 at one point, right?
Yes, it was in the fourth quarter.
34-17.
Yeah.
It's just insane to me that they were able to come back in that game. Have we heard if Arch is playing or not? I know he was in concussion protocol, so
He still is. I checked earlier today. They won't know anything until sometime either later today, Thursday, or maybe even Friday. It's looking more and more like it's going to be a game time decision, and we'll see if that actually matters or not.
Yeah, it's a tough game to pick for sure. It's at Texas. I had written a line under Texas, but I think I've changed my mind. I think I'm joining Kevin's Vanderbilt parade, but just for this week. I'm not on board yet that they're going to make it to the SEC champ. But I think Texas last week should have lost. I think this week, question marks at quarterback. Give me Vanderbilt.
I think y'all know which way I'm leaning on this.
Oh, yeah. I think I know which way Coos leaning to.
Orange down. Anchor down, baby. Give me Vanderbilt. Pavia's mom is apparently hooking up with Theo Vaughn. There's so many good vibes going on right now. It's happening. Pavia's about to have a stepdad. Like, it is on, baby. It is on. The swagger is off the charts. Give me Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Pavia, he's the modern day version of Johnny Manziel, and
Just less crack.
That we know of.
which Johnny Manziel's a big fan of Pavia, apparently, as he's been to most of the games. Lives in Nashville, supporting Pavia and the Commodores. And Clark Lee, whenever your season's over, if Lane says no, you're more than welcome to come down to Baton Rouge and be the next head coach. I think the Texas quarterback situation doesn't really matter. I don't care if Arch is playing, because as we've seen this year, when Arch has a good game, typically the next game he doesn't. So even if he is cleared to play, it doesn't matter. It's anchors down, because, it took me a while to jump on board, but you can mark it right now on this show. What are we, October the 30th, 2025, Vanderbilt will be in the college football playoff.
Boom. There's Guru's hot take. We'll see how that plays out. Next, we've got another intriguing matchup in Cincinnati at Utah. I mean, these are two really good teams that you don't hear a lot talked about, especially here in the South. It's at Utah, so give me the Utes. I'm going to take Utah.
Game day going to be in the house, baby.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. Y'all had this one on the pick'ems, and I was like, man, what are we going to do here? I picked Utah because it's at home. I could very, very much see a world where Cincinnati wins this. Utah was a sleeper team for me, though, entering the season, and I'm going to stick with them. Give me the Utes at home.
Guru, before you pick, I want it shown on the record that he said he made his own pick in the paper after he's told us that someone else picks for him. So
I said it was a tough pick on this show. It was a tough pick.
I think we can play back the tape.
Go Utah, outside of the SEC and looking out west towards teams like that, Utah is a team that I've just always liked. I've always liked the culture that they've had there. That they're just a tough-nosed football team. Going out there to play in Salt Lake City is never an easy task. You're going to have game day there. You're probably going to have one of the largest crowds in Utah football history. But this Cincinnati team, I'm going to tell you, this is your Big 12 champs. Cincinnati Bearcats are going to go on the road, and they're going to take care of business and knock off the Utes.
Look, there's not a bad pick in that game. I mean, they're both legitimate. So next, Mississippi State at Arkansas. Arkansas is a train wreck, but Mississippi State can't close. I mean, and I don't
train looking to wreck.
Yeah, I mean they're a train that's on the tracks for 3 quarters and up. Here you go, Texas. It doesn't matter that we're at home.
Here you go, Florida.
Go ahead and show Florida. Here you go. I really want to pick the Dogs just because I want them to have that. I want them to end the SEC losing streak. But you guys have proven me wrong every time I've picked you this year. I'm not doing it. I'm picking Arkansas. Give me the Razorbacks to continue Mississippi State's misery, as much as it pains me to say that.
I watched like 3/15 of the game with Auburn And Arkansas last week, if you bring that down, that's 1/5 or something like that. I can't remember fraction.
1/5, 20%.
Yeah. I watched more than that. Arkansas did not look good. Auburn made them look better than what they should have been. But I've lost all faith in Mississippi State. I've lost all faith in them. I'm picking Arkansas in this one. It's at home. Taking Arkansas. Bulldogs' misery continues.
In Fayetteville, been there for a Mississippi State-Arkansas game. Watched Arkansas kick a field goal with less than 5 seconds left to beat Mississippi State after State pretty much controlled the entire game like they did against Texas, like they did against Florida. And Fayetteville's a tough place to play, I'll give you that. But I think this is going to be a very, very ticked-off bunch of Bulldogs. And as long as Shapen doesn't screw them again, there's going to be a hog roast in Fayetteville on Saturday. Give me the Dogs.
I hope Guru's right. I just can't. Until they can consistently get over that hump, I just can't with them. Next, we've got South Carolina heading up to Oxford to face the Ole Miss Rebels, Bears, Sharks, Squirrels, whatever they are.
Monkeys.
That's Jasper County. So, I mean, I think you got mistaken there. They have not adopted now, maybe they will this weekend. Maybe they will, because they're known to just pick up whatever random animal seems hot. So maybe they will pick up monkeys this weekend. Who knows? That's what South Carolina should be better than they are. They're just not. They're traveling to Oxford. Give me the Rebels. Give me the Rebels. I think Ole Miss wins. Might be a closer game than the experts think, but I think the Rebels will win.
Yeah, I think the Cox blew their load last week against Alabama, and I don't know. I think they gave it their all against Alabama, and that was it. That was their height. South Carolina they're kind of like Mississippi State. They kind of just find a way to lose big games. Yeah, give me Ole Miss in this one.
Yeah, in a close game late there in the fourth quarter, the Cox defense just deflated on them, and they allowed Alabama to come back, tie the game, eventually get the game winner, and to have that signature win right there in your grasp, and then just to let it go. Yeah. I think that's going to be too much to overcome. And, Ole Miss is coming in after that big win against Oklahoma. I wouldn't be surprised in this one if you see the ticker come across on ESPN on the bottom line that at halftime Ole Miss is only up 13-10 or trailing 13-10 because Lenore Sellers, the quarterback at South Carolina, is a real dude. And the only unfortunate thing is he's pretty much all they have offensively. Yep. But I think at the end of the day, Ole Miss wins and covers the 12.5 point spread. Shout out to you, Murph.
That brings me to the wild card question, and it is Ole Miss centric. The question right now, if you're just looking top to bottom, not that you're going to pick them to be the SEC champs or anything like that. Question is, and we'll start with you, Kevin, first, is Ole Miss right now, based on the way they've played up until this point, would you consider them the best team in the SEC at the moment?
No.
Who do you have?
Is Vanderbilt's there? I think that I think that they're right there in the hunt. I think that Alabama's just somehow they can't keep getting away with what they keep getting away with. But you can't argue it. Right now they're undefeated in the SEC. Mm-hmm. You can't argue it. Ole Miss is right there. Vanderbilt. Be honest with you, man. You probably toss it up.
God, you're missing the big one.
Am I? What am I missing? Texas A&M. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
I know you hate them, but they are still.
Yeah, they're the only
undefeated.
Yeah,
team in the conference.
I did completely forget. I think you have to give it to A&M. I think you probably
now.
Yeah, no. A&M, Alabama, in a toss-up on a neutral site. I'm not joking. I think I believe in Vanderbilt more than Ole Miss.
We already know it's they're not because you said A&M. So
yeah, at this point right now, no. The answer is absolutely no. And one other one. Even though we've talked about their up and down, and they got beat by Bama, but Georgia's still in there,
and they beat Ole Miss.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to take the top 5, I would go. I'm going to switch Kevin's up, and I'm going to go A&M 1 right now, which I'm still like Kevin. I'm not sold on them. They still got a long way. They got a really tough 4-game slate ahead of them. But A&M 1. I'm going to put Vanderbilt 2 from what I've seen, and then Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss. And the only reason I take Georgia over Ole Miss is because, like you said, Jack, they did beat Ole Miss and gave the Rebels their only loss. However, out of all 5 of those teams, Ole Miss might have the easier route to get to Atlanta than those other 4. So the month of November is going to be a very interesting month, not just in high school, but especially in the SEC.
I think you guys nailed it with A&M being the top, but where I disagree with y'all is I don't have Vanderbilt as 2. While I agree Alabama can't keep getting away with it, Alabama beat Vanderbilt pretty easily. So I think Alabama has to be slotted in at 2. Then I have Georgia, then Vanderbilt, then Ole Miss. And sorry, Ole Miss fans, y'all can flip with Vanderbilt real easily, but right now, just based on some of the eye test I've seen, I just have them 1 above you, but that could change this weekend. A dominant performance from Ole Miss, I may be rethinking everything.
I will say this. I told Callie as soon as it went final Saturday, I was like, congratulations, y'all probably just won the Egg Bowl, because what we see normally is one team will be setting themselves up to have a historic season, and the other team just ruins it.
That's fair.
I mean,
we've seen it before,
and it's in Starkville.
many times.
It's in Starkville this year, and
I think the home team has won like 6 or 7 or 8 of the last in that series.
It used to be flipped. It used to be
right,
where
the
your
road
away
team
team would win, but
lately it's been the home team.
Yeah.
Goodness, I remember when they used to play that game in Jackson. I used to go to it every year.
Yeah, because I was explaining that to Alyssa and Reed earlier in the week, because that was back in the days when, number one, Jackson Memorial Stadium was actually nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a dump back then.
And it wasn't in a bad part of the city as it is now. And number 3, it was way bigger than Davis Wade or Vaught Hemingway was back in the 80s. Yep. And I mean, I've watched several LSU Mississippi State games in Jackson Memorial Stadium, because, LSU fans for decades have traveled. So instead of playing it in Starkville in front of, I think probably back then it might have sat about 40,000-ish. I mean, they take it to Jackson where you get 65 in, and, both schools make more money. So, yeah, I mean, those were the good old days of old Jackson Memorial Stadium.
I don't remember that.
It doesn't matter. They should just blow it up now.
Oh, yeah. I was actually at the famous Egg Bowl, the one where State was kicking the field goal to win it.
I was talking to
I was there.
Alyssa and Reed about the exact same thing.
And
that's
unfortunately,
one of the craziest endings of an Egg Bowl.
I was too young to know what had happened or to have really appreciated it. I was with Dad at a football game, so it was awesome from that. Wasn't until years later, I realized how significant, because Kevin, do you know which one we're talking about? Because it's just, the kick is straight on. I've never seen
it's going right through
it.
It was to tie it, wasn't it? If I remember correctly,
I think they were taking the lead.
I couldn't remember, and I didn't look it up. But if you've never seen it, and regardless if you're a State Ole Miss fan, go to YouTube and search for that. And when you see the angle, it's just ridiculous, and it is one of the craziest endings of any football game. And because Mother Nature took that one away from the Bulldogs, so on that night, we knew that God at least wore red and blue for one night.
You'd have to make it out on the tablets, but they etched it out for you on YouTube, so you can go and make out what happened on the tablets. That's how old that game was.
Nice try, Kev. Let's get into our high school picks, because we've got a couple of games tonight here on Thursday. We've got East Marion sitting at 4-4, traveling to 3-5 Collins. In this one, I think East Marion's gonna take care of Collins. I know it's at Collins, but give me East Marion.
Yeah, same here. Give me East Marion.
I went back and forth on this. I looked at both of them and what they'd done against their other region opponents, and I'm going to have to go against y'all again, and I'm going to take Collins at home to get the dub.
Next, we've got a battle of 2 7-2 teams. Heidelberg at
Fraud alert! Fraud alert!
We'll get to that. Heidelberg, of course, they've dealt with some stuff. We've talked about it numerous times. Happy to see those kids back on the field and let that team be the story, not the tragedy.
Or the monkeys.
Or that. Heidelberg, of course, Clarkdale. This was the matchup that we had circled as was going to be the marquee matchup for both these teams. Clarkdale may not be the team we thought they were going to be. I think I was always going to pick Heidelberg in this game. I'm definitely picking Heidelberg in this game. Now, I think they win by 2 scores. Give me Heidelberg.
I think 2 scores is
at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2 scores. Yeah,
Minimum.
Heidelberg is fixing to roll. They were up on Kipper County last Thursday. Right?
32-0 in the first
quarter. Them boys are playing, and I feel sorry for any 2A team that is going to have to face them.
Yep.
Heidelberg rolls.
I agree, and I don't know if there's an injury bug, if there's an outbreak of COVID or something at Clarkdale, but yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, this was them, and then they've dropped 2 in a row. And somebody blasted them, didn't they? Like blew them out.
I got hold of them. This is the same team that beat Bay Springs,
right? So I don't know if the water got poisoned up there in Clarkdale, but yeah, Heidelberg rolls in this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a running clock in the second half.
Yeah, look, if you can travel to Tennessee and play a competitive, it's not going to be hard for you to travel to Clarkdale.
No.
So, next matchup, it's 2-7 Enterprise Clark at 3-6 Mize. We were talking about this one before the game. I already know who every one of us is picking Mize in this game, correct?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we'll just move on to the next matchup. And this is one of the few I don't have anything. What's that, Coop?
No, this is I think the toughest pick of the week.
And that's what I was getting to. I thought you had something more on the other one. That's why I paused.
Mize is gonna route.
Tylertown 6-3 at PCS 6-3. This is the only one I don't have anybody circled yet.
I don't either.
I honestly don't know who to pick in this game. Normally I'll go with the home team in those type scenarios, but is that wise? Because I mean, we've all been waiting for PCS to hit the public school wall, which just hasn't happened. I think I'm going to go with my usual when I'm stuck. I'm sticking with the home team. Give me PCS.
That's a very good pick. PCS is going to win this game. They're going to win it easy. This one was tough for y'all.
Yeah.
Wow. PCS is rolling in this game.
It's Tylertown. Tylertown's played for state before, right?
Maybe back whenever y'all were kids, yeah. I'm just kidding. I didn't think PCS was.
That's one too many ageist jokes. So it's time in the show where we mute Kevin's mic. It's once again, you can't hear Kevin. Guru, go ahead and give your pick.
So I'm going to break it down like this. Tylertown is the Chiefs. Presbyterian Christian is the Bobcats. So if you're going to have a mascot battle to determine who's going to win, it makes me wonder, are we talking about a Navy chief coming in on a submarine? Are we talking about an Indian chief riding horseback with a bow and arrow? We're talking about chief of police with a gat on a hip, shotgun in the hand. Either way, the Bobcat's going to sneak up on that chief and claw him to death.
What if it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's chief?
Ban.
All right. I thought it was unwise to go ahead and unmute Kevin, obviously. So I don't know if Kevin's going to get to say who he picks in this next one, but I guarantee you, I think I already know who he's picking in this next one. You've got 3-5 Jefferson Davis at 8-1 Raleigh. Give me Raleigh in this one. Kevin, I'm going to regret it. I'm unmuting you so you can make your pick.
No, it's Raleigh. I told y'all off the air, the only thing that concerns, I don't know if it's concern.
You question.
I question it. Is Raleigh really doesn't have anything to play for in this game.
It's fair.
You know, they really don't. I think they're going to be concerned about getting out of this game healthy more so than anything. And I think Jefferson Davis has a lot more to play for in this game. I'm going to take Raleigh, but I think it's going to be close. And this is Mancuso versus Higg. Higg is a Mancuso disciple. That's where he came from. I mean, this is going to be a good game. And this one might be one where I travel down to Raleigh and have some fun Thursday night.
Yeah, saying they don't have anything to play for, I disagree with, because, I mean, especially if you're a senior, this is, your last regular season home game. I think there's a lot to play for. I think they will, if they feel at some point in the game that they feel comfortable where, even if it's just a 10-point lead early in the fourth, that they might take some guys out and move some other players in and out. But, I mean, this is not the typical Mancuso JCSD team that we've been accustomed to, and I think the Lions Raleigh rolls.
Next, we've got the battle of 7 and 2 Stringer, 1-7 Resurrection. I guess dyslexia tried to creep in there for a second there.
I think we can do this like we did Miles.
Yeah. Stringer, all three of us picking Stringer in this one.
The devil.
Pretty easy. Next matchup, we've got 5-4 Taylorsville at 4-4 Lumberton. Tartars have been hot. I'm going to keep riding them. Go Tartars in this one.
Yeah. Tartars are the second hottest team in Smith County, not named Raleigh. And you could argue that they're probably maybe hotter right now in their classification. Taylorsville rolls in this one.
Yeah, Taylorsville. Now, we talked about earlier in the show about a turnaround. Taylorsville actually has had a turnaround this season. And, yeah, they're the hottest team in our coverage area. And I think they're going to roll over Lumberton on Friday.
Absolutely. And we're done with the games that are going to be played tonight.
Tonight, Thursday, not Friday. I mean, they could roll into Friday, possibly weather related, but
possibly,
or if it's a World Series game.
Yeah. I thought about making that 18 inning marathon the wild card, but I felt the ACC question was more appropriate. Plus, we just did a baseball wild card, so I felt like we needed to stick on topic. Well, now that we're rolling in Friday's games, our first one is a playoff game.
Little man football.
Little man football takes the spotlight here as 6-3 Porter's Chapel faces 4-5 Silva Bay Academy. I grew up in Vicksburg. Porter's Chapel was right down the road from my house.
My mother recruited by Porter's Chapel, right?
Yep. It's a silly. Porter's Chapel hadn't had a football team, I think, in like 4 or 5 years. And apparently somebody told the coach about me playing sandlot football. He called, would you be interested? My answer was no. I was a soccer player going to my son, so no, I did not. I laughed it off, truth be told. And that's why I'm picking Silva Bay in this one, because as long as I've been alive, Porter's Chapel's just been a so-so school. And this was back when they played 11-man football. I just don't see. I think Silva Bay at home, Porter's Chapel. Sorry, I know my mom worked for you for some time. I just can't pick you. Silva Bay in this one.
Well, in case y'all didn't know, the MAIS, they do points now. You get so many points for wins, and then you get points if you lose, and then you get points if you somewhat get close. But if you win the game, you get more points, and that has put Silva Bay facing Porter's Chapel in the playoffs. Because the points totaled the points, and the points happened. And
it's all about the points.
It's all about the points.
But what's your point?
With that said, Silva Bay wins, and they face River Oaks, who got enough points to get a bye and be the number 1 seed.
Are they playing for a participation trophy? Is that what's happening here?
They're playing to get enough points, Jack.
And Silva Bay will have enough points to get the win on Friday.
Yes.
That's our point.
All right, well, moving on. Northeast Rankin at 6-3. They're traveling to 6-3 Oak Grove. Oak Grove looked like a juggernaut for a while, but they've had a couple of hiccups here or there. I still think they're the home team. Give me the Warriors in this one.
Yeah, give me the Warriors. They're going to close out and beat Northwest Rankin.
Clean sweep, Oak Grove.
Next, we've got 6-3 Petal traveling to 2-6 Meridian. Petal got upset last week. None of us saw that coming. We all thought they were going to go to Pearl, take care of business. I still think this is a really good Petal team that just had a hiccup last week. Meridian struggling this season. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah. Go in that historic stadium at Meridian, get the win, and get out of Meridian as fast as you can.
They should have had this kick off at 4 o'clock. No, this is bounce back week for Petal. I think the Panthers go in and take care of the Wildcats pretty handily.
Next, we've got 2-6 Wayne Academy at 5-3 Bowling Green. So they're playing a college this week. Playing Bowling Green University, right? That's our story. We're sticking to it. Give me Bowling Green. I think, as you've said, Kevin, repeatedly, Wayne Academy is still in the process of rebuilding. Give me Bowling Green in this one.
I heard something about Wayne Academy, that something happened, and that swayed my opinion, man. I'm taking Wayne Academy. I think the locker room's better now. Give me Wayne Academy.
Yeah, I know what you're alluding to, and that's the same reason I'm going with the Jaguars. Wayne Academy with the big road win.
Next, we've got 2-6 Laurel traveling to 3.
You skip. Skip.
Oh yeah, you got Wayne back to back. So thank you for that. We've got 5-3 Purvis at Wayne County, who's 2-6. Give me Purvis in this one. I think this one's not a hard pick for me.
You swayed my pick. Right as before we hit record, I put an X on Purvis. I'm taking Wayne County in this one. I think there's been enough unicorns and muffins handed out or cupcakes handed out. I think that we're going to get the winning streak to 3, baby. We're going to win 3 in a row. Give me Wayne County.
Yeah, we talked about Laurel with kind of what we call a turnaround, the big turnaround by Taylorsville, and I think Kevin's absolutely right, and Wayne County continues their winning streak and starts setting themselves up very, very good for a potential first-round home game in the playoffs. Give me the War Eagles.
Next, we've got 2-6 Laurel. This time, finally, we got 2-6 Laurel at 6-3 Summerall. Laurel's been really, really looking good the last 2 weeks. Last week put up a lot of points. Summerall's no slouch, as we talked about in the preview. They're going to have to figure out a way to stop that run game. I think they do. I think they extend their winning streak. Give me the Tornadoes to win this game and to maintain second place in the region.
Yeah, same. I think this is going to be one of those grind out games, but if Laurel can win this one and extend that winning streak, ooh, man, next week's going to be a fun one.
Oh, yes, sir.
Give me the Tornadoes, the Golden Tornadoes.
Yeah, we spoke in the preview segment about Summerall, tough-nosed group of kids. It is on the road at Summerall, but Laurel, over the last 2 weeks, has hit its stride, and I think I agree with both of you guys, and that will continue Friday night, and the Golden Tornadoes will move that win streak to 3 and set up a big one in the season finale.
And talking about the opponent that Laurel will face next week, they are facing off at home against 3-5 Natchez. South Jones, of course, is 2-7 on the year, lost 2 straight, so it's gut check time. They're finally back at home. That's a good thing for them to be at home after these struggles. Give me the Braves. I think it's going to be tough, but I think South Jones knows their back's against the wall. I'm going with the Braves in this one.
Pretty brave pick.
It is.
I think that the Braves are on a downward trend, and I think that Natchez is going to upset South Jones Friday night.
He just became the most hated man in Ellisville.
He did.
Are
you going to join him?
I would become the most hated man. I have to stand on the Natchez sideline Friday night. This is a tough one.
It is.
Because you do, at this point, sitting 3 weeks ago before region play had started, you look at South Jones, you look at Natchez, you would just chalk this up as an easy dub. But what we've seen out of South Jones the last 2 weeks, what we've seen Natchez is capable of doing, if South it is not up, I'm telling you, boys, you need to treat this like it's West Jones, like it's Northeast, like it's Laurel. This is your season. This is the game that matters. And because of that, I think at the end of the night on Friday, we're going to be playing the chop. Give me the Braves.
It's going to be a tough game, and they definitely need to be focused and stop focusing on little brother energy. Focus on the things that matter, the team in front of you, not teams you beat a couple of weeks ago. Take care of business. It's that simple. Next, we've got 5-3 Stone, the leaders of the region, traveling to the Jungle to face Northeast Jones, sitting at 4-4. Must win for the Tigers. I mean, it's either do or die, and it couldn't come against a tougher opponent in Stone. But I know that team is really, really tough to beat there in the Jungle. I'm going with the Tigers. I think they're going to pull off the upset in this one. I think it's going to be a war, a defensive battle, and I think Northeast Jones does just enough to get it done.
This is the game that I had trouble picking. We had a lot of tough games on these picks, but this one was one where I went back and forth on. Unless something changes offensively and they get a spark from somewhere, I hate to do it. I'm not joking with y'all. If this defense was on any other squad in this county, we would have a state championship team.
Yep.
But I just cannot pick Northeast Jones knowing how anemic this offense has been. They should have beaten Purvis, but the offense just gave away. And I don't think it would have mattered if it would have been in Purvis or if it would have been in the Jungle. Give me Stone in this one. Prove me wrong.
It's a tough one. I totally agree with you, Kevin. We talk about this one off the air. It's a very tough matchup for Northeast Jones. The good thing is, like has been previously stated, it is in the Jungle because of those road woes that the Tigers have faced all year. Stone is, sitting at the top of the region at 3-0, and they're not there for no reason. And I'm going to have to side with Kevin. I don't want to, but I just think the Tomcats come in and take care of business.
Good picks. I mean, it's a tough game to pick for sure. I just have a feeling, and maybe I'll be right.
We hope you are.
Yeah. Now, we'll see if Kevin continues to keep history going of 3 straight picks against the local schools as we get to West Jones at 7-2, battling 6-2 Hattiesburg. They're traveling to Hattiesburg for this game. West Jones has looked really good the last couple of weeks, but so has Hattiesburg. Hattiesburg's the home team. This game is pretty much for the region. I think the Mustangs are ready. I think they're going to take care of business. Give me West Jones.
I'm going to need you to go to Guru real quick, and if you can you mute my mic? You can go to Guru. Let him make his pick.
Go ahead, Guru.
Well, West Jones, Hattiesburg, both 3-0. Had a similar situation last year at West Jones, and the Mustangs were not victorious. I think you're going to have a bunch of group of boys from SoSo that, they're going to be looking for a bit of revenge. We talked about the prolific offenses of both, and I wanted to pull it up. Hattiesburg comes in having thrown for 1,560 yards and rushed for 1,291. Very, very impressive. But the Mustangs have thrown for 1,748 yards and rushed for 1,443. I think this game, like I said in the preview, is just going to be a back and forth offensive slugfest. But at the end of the night, I think we're going to get the Mustangs with the W, and they're going to be the Region 3 6A champions.
Kevin, is it okay to unmute you yet? All right, let's unmute Kevin and let's let him go to his pick in this matchup.
This was another tough pick. This was another tough pick. I've joked and clowned on Hattiesburg for a few weeks, but look, they took the jug.
Yeah.
They took the jug from Laurel.
Even though it's not a rivalry.
Even though it's not a rivalry.
Don't understand why they play them.
And then you had Laurel and West Jones, man. West Jones come away with that win, but it was close.
20-9.
Yeah. It was close. I was there at that game. It's closer, I think, than the scoreboard even said. But you know what? West Jones, I'm picking you, baby. I'm picking you. Jack put the bad juju out there that I was going 3 straight. It's not happening. This helmet is way too small. And I can't even get it on. But West Jones is winning this football game.
I don't know what is my favorite moment of this season. It's a toss up between that and Guru playing the chop,
Not the shoe, it's the stain.
which Kevin now fully supports.
Yeah, fully support. I'm gonna squeeze in my head, Jack.
Yeah, but we'll mute you while you remove that because we don't want to hear those sounds that you might make during the removal. Oh, Guru, this has been another fun show. It may be Kevin's last as he fights against that helmet.
Well, you couldn't see it because you had your back turned, but I watched him go get the helmet. I knew what he was doing, and out the corner of my eye, that's why I had to try to keep not looking. I'm watching him struggle to try to put that helmet on, and that's why I had to pull something up and just stare at my phone because I was able to pull it off, but I was dying inside because it was,
I knew Kevin. Guru, I knew exactly what he was doing. That's why I kept looking at you so I wouldn't lose it.
I got a dent in my head now. Who wore this helmet? Coach, I need a bigger helmet.
Hey, look, we still need a Northeast Jones and a Laurel helmet to boot too, because we don't have those in the back, and a modern South Jones helmet. So coaches, give us
any coaches area.
Yeah, any area.
Smith
coaches.
County, Jasper County.
We will
take
feature your helmets right back there.
Absolutely.
Kevin, make sure it's too small for Kevin so that way we can get more comedy gold like that.
Well, I can tell you if it's too small for Kevin, it's going to be too small for me.
Man, I'm sure. Folks, it's always fun. We enjoy bringing this show to you guys each and every single week. I'm Jack Fairchilds, and for Kevin Lindsey and Josh Guru Nichols, we'll see you guys again next week.